Happy Sunday evening. My name is Bryce Koon. Get ready to talk a little college football week 3 reaction here on the Crowded Booth. We've got Georgia Tech Clemson. We're taking a look at the Jackets and what's wrong with the Tigers. Then we head to Knoxville where we talk Georgia and Tennessee. Gunnar Stockton boosting that stock. That sounded really bad. I didn't even mean to say it like that. Boosting that stock, though. Double thumbs down there from Will. And then, obviously, we're going to take a look at Notre Dame, Texas. We got our winners of the week, things we're talking about. Brian Kelly getting a little feisty with the media down in Baton Rouge. And then, obviously, our best bets, which, hey, we got a little separation this weekend. Ralph Leary, Will Mandis. My name is Bryce Koon. Lock it in, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. Let's talk college football.
Pile in here and make yourself feel at home. The Crowded Booth is coming on. The Crowded Booth with Bryce Koon.
Welcome in. Happy Sunday evening to you. My name is Bryce Koon alongside Will Mandis and Ralph Leary as we get ready to talk a little bit of college football. Ralph, you all right?
Yeah, you should have bring up the best bets. The hook.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say anything.
But you're going
Will shouldn't be allowed his. His was too free.
Get the
Hey,
get the buffet pants ready, Ralph. That's all I'm going to tell you. A lot of waffles going to be consumed potentially.
I'm already there, halfway, so might as well.
Oh my gosh. Welcome in. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. And we appreciate you guys talking with us in college football here on a Sunday evening. Fellas, what a weekend. What a weekend. And one thing I love about this is the fact that every single time slot had really, really just entertaining football. And I think that's peak college football, peak college football Saturday, where you have maybe it's even just one game, maybe it's two, maybe you're split screening it, maybe you're throwing up a quad box, but in general, you're not doing that if you have the CW, that's for sure. But you know, if you're able to
in Atlanta, you can watch the CW. I learned that this weekend.
I'm just so broken by that. I'd love to be able to watch these games. No, but in all seriousness, I didn't
watch that game because it had like a 6-hour weather delay. When I discovered that the CW could be watched in Atlanta, I put the game on. It should have been the middle of the third quarter. It was a weather delay.
Wait, so there really was a weather delay in that game?
Yes, a long, lengthy weather delay.
Long, lengthy weather delay. Crowded Booth out of context. Long, lengthy. All right, so
still waiting on clips from last week to get posted. I don't know.
Still waiting on that. Someone's behind. Someone's dropped the ball on that. So
he's currently walking around downtown Columbus, apparently.
What?
No, he's not.
He's getting gas.
It's not. Nope, it's not who you think it is.
Do you know who it is?
I know who it is.
Do we know them personally?
Yes.
Is it?
I'm going to keep it a secret.
You're going to do the Garrett Nussmeier. You're going to keep that in-house. That's what he tells us every single week. Yeah. Like, subscribe. Let's talk college football. But no, like I was saying, like this past weekend to me was peak college football in the sense every single time slot you had just games that you wanted to keep you glued to the TV. I think that's the best part of it. Like, you don't want to get up. You want to be able to watch those games. You look at the clock and dang, it's 10 o'clock and Will's got to watch Cal, play after that. And so, Cal's moving up those ACC rankings. Get ready.
They are moving up. You're exactly right. I mean, Auburn kicked off at had the JP Pilot noon special game
Where it's really like 12:45, but it's not like the
12:45.
noon.
This first game we're going to talk about kept me from switching back and forth. It was it's like you said, you were glued to the TV all day.
Ralph, I barely fed Ralph and Gavin on Saturday. Ralph had some pimento cheese and wheat thins, and Gavin didn't eat. I want to say this about Gavin. Please, let's take up some donations in the chat for him to get some type of sleep medication.
Golly.
Because
I've never met someone who sleeps more than
that
him.
was crazy. That was crazy, Will. I don't know if you're in tune with how much of it is.
With someone leaving the house early, and then I can say this because that person does not watch the show. Found that out this weekend.
Ever.
He then woke up around about 2 hours later, and then slept while Bryce and I sat there and talked for another 2 hours. Just passed out on the couch. Does not
It's
sleep.
sad. It's not good. So prayers for Gavin. It's
a quick question for Will.
I don't even know why you're asking.
Yeah, sure you can, dude. All right. In all seriousness, college football was fantastic this weekend. Some awesome games, some crazy games, some electric finishes, and two teams here in the state of Georgia who really staked a claim, I think, in terms of what they could do in the season. So it's going to be fun to talk about, and we're going to dive right in right now to that early kickoff game. And it was the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets taking on Clemson. Now, you had my kind of instant reactions. We went live about 5 minutes afterwards. The Jackets beat Clemson here. This is, you know what, man? This is – I'll start it off. I talked about this on Saturday for about 30 minutes. Two things can be true. The first being Georgia Tech's a really good football team. Like, they're a really good football team. The second part of this, Clemson has some serious issues. And I don't often agree with this person on social media, but Brandon Walker said this, and I thought it was –
That's my reaction to Clemson.
I thought it was spot on. Clemson is not like they're recruiting in the 30s. What happens when these guys get to campus? And what's happened recently? Because I don't know what it is. And I've kind of said this, just in terms of – I said this on Saturday, and I'll echo it again here. Georgia Tech closed the gap enough, and Clemson has just done whatever to lower themselves to the fact where Georgia Tech, I kind of felt like, guys, controlled this game. And Brent Key said afterwards, he said that, we wanted this to be a one-score game where we felt like we had a chance. Well, Georgia Tech's really good in those situations, and they capitalized. They did what they did. Obviously, everyone saw it play out on the field, but I think that's my biggest thing. Let's talk winners first. Georgia Tech impresses. We all picked the Jackets to win this game on Saturday. It felt like too easy of an upset pick, I guess we could say. The line, went down drastically. Georgia Tech, I tweeted this afterwards, they won this game. And now we have to ask ourselves, why not? Why can't they be in Charlotte at this point with the way their schedule sets up? Thoughts on the game? Will, we'll start with you. You watched, obviously, this. You mentioned this one kind of kept you from flipping over to Auburn and South Alabama. Jackets, man, impressed. They just they don't quit, and they're led by Haynes King.
Yeah, I'm a little confused why you put shocked here. We all picked Georgia Tech to win, to upset Clemson.
The reason shocking, I want to clear that because Dr. Bob said this. It's more in the sense of, like, I guess the shock factor of, like, the walk-off. It's not necessarily that they won the game. I guess it's like not even in the way, but just like the shock factor of losing in that fashion.
Bryce named his Forum Talk show Saturday after.
I think I was shocked, stunned, I think is in the title of this video today. So there we go. Yeah, or it's not, but it was. But anyways. Yes, continue. I digress.
Yeah, Georgia Tech was awesome, and it should have been a lot more than 3 points. But and it's going to be fun to see because I still think, and it's only been 3 games, so this doesn't seem like a groundbreaking thing to say. This team is still in its infancy, because when you get late in the year, you're going to learn how to kill teams off, and Georgia Tech went a long way on Saturday to getting better in that regard. Because they had Clemson, ready they're ready to deliver that knockout punch.
Yeah.
But let Clemson stay in it and hang around. But did a really great job. I love the way Brent Key handled the end of the game. No, basically stress free. As stress free as a last second fire drill field goal can be. He didn't look stressed, didn't look concerned at all about the clock, and that's man, that looks like a guy that's his name's gonna be thrown around there a lot this winter. But I don't think he's going anywhere. Everybody just relax. I'm not saying he's going anywhere. But Georgia Tech was great on both sides of the ball. They held Clemson to Clemson actually got more yards than I thought they did. 381 total. They outgained Georgia Tech. But the key, pretty good on third down, 7 of 12. I just think that start from Georgia Tech really carried them, and then Georgia Tech could play the clock, play field position, and hold on to the ball, which is their game. You said it, Bryce. If they can play in a phone booth, they got a really good shot to win it, and they did it. I mean, they limited explosives from Clemson, and that was really what kept Clemson in the game, was just a handful of explosives. But a really, really great job from Georgia Tech all around.
Ralph, we watched this game together, and we kind of kept saying Georgia Tech had a chance, right? They're getting out to the early lead. I tweeted, and Will got nervous when I tweeted. I said Georgia Tech might be able to run this team out of the building. I mean, like, Clemson looked bad. We'll talk Clemson in a second, but just what did you see from Brent Key's crew? And, you know, we've watched this more than a lot of people nationally in terms of Georgia Tech over the past couple of years. They just I'm going to steal something here. It's going to make fans mad. There's an adage from a coach in Athens who, when he got there, he said, you just keep chopping wood. Georgia Tech just kind of continues to knock on the door and until they bust through. And I think in this one's a perfect example. They didn't stop. They didn't back down. They didn't blink.
You know, I've watched probably more Tech games in the last 3 or 4 years than I have my entire life. And in that time, it's been Brent Key, majority. I've seen a lot of growth in this team, especially through him and Haynes King. The one thing I noticed early on, Bryce, and throughout the whole game, no turnovers.
Yeah.
Something that when he first got there was a problem.
It was a problem the first 2 games.
Well, I'm talking about when he first got to Tech in general was a problem. Last year was banged up a few games, but he saw a limited amount of turnovers through him. And that's something he's obviously worked on. And in games like this, needs to be the number one job. Do not turn the ball over. Do not give them any better field position than what you do. When you turn the ball over later in the game, or you punt away. But I was very impressed offensively. Game plan was there in the first quarter. Like you said, they could have ran them out the stadium. We thought they were going to. But teams like Clemson, no matter how bad they looked, you cannot give teams with this much talent and athletes ability to get back in the game, because either if they are playing bad, they still have a chance to get back in the game, and it's bad enough.
Yeah,
I was more impressed with. I mean, honestly, I shouldn't say impressed. I was more stunned of the game plan for Clemson not scheming against Haynes King. It just felt like no one does. It just feels like they don't care that he's back there, and there's no knock to what Buster Faulkner's done or what other team what Haynes King's done this year. It's not a shocking offense.
They just run what they run, and they run it well.
It's a simplified offense. It's run very well with the guys they have. I feel like Haynes King didn't really run his body to the ground like he has. He gave the ball away to Jamal Haynes, Malachi Hosley. They spread it out pretty well throughout the game, and he just kept the ball in his hands. Ran this offense through him, and overall, shout out to the defense, because truly they played a great game. Just stopped everything. Yeah. Anything Clemson really had going for them was stopped. Omar Daniels coming with a huge interception, forced fumble. This defense stepped up when it needed them to, and it showed late in the game when they're okay with letting them score because they trust their offense. They trust who they had at quarterback. And Bryce, I mean, you said it. You didn't tweet about it. You didn't. I don't think you even said it on the show. And I'm gonna expose you for a second here. You were questioning that last play of the game when they went out there and ran the ball with what 15 seconds on the clock, and then went out there and kicked
Yeah.
a field goal with no timeout. You were not happy with that, or not. I wouldn't say happy. You were not prepared for that to happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We were kind of like, what are you doing here? Like, it works out, and that's great, and like that's why they make the calls, right? That's why they got to do what they got to do. And no, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. I talked about this on Saturday. I'm going to dive more into it tomorrow morning. There's things that you can nitpick. You can always get better, but you're 3-0 with 2 Power 4 wins. That game one win. That team's bad. But
we got to talk about Clemson.
What is that?
We got to talk about Clemson.
Oh yes. The last thing I'll say on Tech in this is that I think they're the best team in the ACC. I'll say that. I think that they are. I think there's a real case for it. I would be interested to see what they would do against Miami, but I think they could win that game. Like, I don't think it's a clear cut. It's not. I mean, my ACC poll I put in there, I think I put Miami 1, Georgia Tech 2, and I mean, I'll just tell you, like, at some point, I think we got to just say, like, so much you just got to hand it to Brent Key and say he's starting. He's earned the benefit of the doubt. What is it, 7-1 against ranked ACC teams now?
Yep.
The only loss was to Louisville, which we were in the building. No, were they ranked that year? Was it on the road last year or the year?
They were ranked.
But anyways, it was to them. So, I mean, I like it. I got pumped up on Thursday's live show about it because I think this team's really, really good. They should be in Charlotte. I'll just say that.
I
like,
think
they
it
should
was
be in
mentioned
Charlotte.
during the broadcast. Who the ESPN announcers were kind of likening Brent Key to Paul Johnson and the two offenses. Maybe I heard that somewhere else. But it's just ball control. It's running the football. It's playing defense. That's what Georgia Tech is.
Yeah. Let's talk Clemson here real quick. Scott says a giant killer. They might have had the number 12 ranking next to him. Clemson's not a giant anymore. So I'm not it's what I led off this segment with. It's not that they are, and hear me out. Two things can be true. Georgia Tech's a good football team. We just spent 13 minutes talking about that. They took care of business. They punched. They kept punching. Clemson is in trouble. I said this to lead off the segment, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on it. They have players, and I actually do think their defense is pretty good. This offense for Clemson is the most underwhelming unit in college football this year to me, because I think it's brutal. So I've seen them up close once already this year. We've watched them. I mean, a combination. We've watched every single snap that they've played. Right? We can say that with Ralph watching them against Troy. Start with you, Will, on this one. There's a problem. I think there's an athlete problem at Clemson. I think that there is an issue in development. Garrett Riley has been an absolute disaster so far as an offensive coordinator, and you have a quarterback that I don't think is being utilized properly because I don't think he's as bad as it looks. That's just my take.
I think it's a combination of all of it, and that's really, really bad to see about Garrett Riley because preseason, nationally, people were calling him a top 5 coordinator, and they're really bad. And you alluded to Brandon Walker's tweet. Yeah, they've got the stars. It's just when they get to Clemson, it's something's going on, and development's a huge thing. I think it still shows again that development is a huge key in college football. And I just went back, did a quick look at all of Dabo's coordinators. You know, Dabo has stayed in-house almost exclusively, and that's worked. But you can go back, Chad Morris, even Billy Napier was his first offensive coordinator, his first full season as the head coach. And he had Kevin Steele's defense coordinator, Brent Venables, for I think it was 10, 11 seasons. You know, the jury could be out on those guys as head coaches, but you can't argue that they're great football coaches. They're great developers of talent. And Tony Elliott as well. Can't forget about him. You can't deny that. You can't deny that they know football, know how to coach it, know how to teach it.
Yeah.
And I think that's sort of the problem here. And I also think Dabo is kind of doing the Nick Saban thing of like, well, I'll change coordinators, but I'm not changing my offense. Why should one guy can come in and learn my offense? Why should all 45 guys learn one guy's offense? I think that's part of the issue here too. I still think Garrett Riley's a really good offense coordinator. I think he's a good play caller. The fit's just not working. And I agree 100%. I think Cade Klubnik is not being used in the correct ways. I think he's a really good athlete. He's a smart quarterback. I don't think he's an NFL caliber quarterback, especially like we saw from Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson, having those two guys back to back really kind of carried Clemson. But that doesn't mean they still can't be good. They still can't be successful. They can't be in contention because remember, they have just one conference loss. They're not out of this thing. Clemson, not a giant, like we just said. They got a lot of things wrong, but they still got 9 games to figure it out. They're not out of this thing.
Before we get to you, Ralph, interesting what you said there. ESPN NFL draft analyst Matt Miller said this on Saturday. Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik had summer hype as a first rounder, but NFL scouts are backpedaling faster than the cornerbacks he faces. One AFC East scout said, I think he's a day 3 guy, and you saw why today. When his weapons were missing, including Antonio Williams, he looks average. Okay arm, okay processing speed, way too overhyped.
The arm talent's not there.
Yeah, well, as long as that's not a jet scout, then it should turn out to be pretty fruitful. Ralph, I want to get your thoughts on this. I said this when we were watching the game. Get him on some rollouts. Like, he's not crazy athletic, but he's athletic. Make his life a little bit easier. I don't know what Cade Klubnik's looking at. Like, and Clemson through 3 games has 0 offensive identity.
I kind of want to talk about Cade Klubnik, but I also kind of want to harp on the defense real quick. Because we talk about an NFL quarterback. This is a NFL defensive line, defensive front that's getting bullied.
Yeah.
By everybody. And I will not talk about what happened on Saturday because it was anemic and horrendous looking. But how do you let Troy score 16 points on you? Did you see what happened on Saturday at the offense?
Hey, look, hold on.
I gotta say something because they had 40 yards of passing through 3.5 quarters on Saturday. The worst offensive production I've ever seen them have. And
didn't one of Troy's drives against Clemson start inside the 5-yard line?
Yes, Will. Yes.
So let's knock off 7 points. Let's not put that on Clemson's defense. Let's cut them a little slack.
I am sick and tired of hearing this defense be so good, so electric, so distraught. They are terrible as a unit. Wade Woodaz is awful.
He's bad.
I cannot stand watching this guy roll. He is spying Haynes King. He is 8 yards on the other side of the field spying Haynes King when he is running the other way. It is awful watching him play. The defensive ends, Will Held is the only one that does anything. TJ Parker has not shown a bit of straight up, being the best pass rusher in college football. Now he has the ability. We saw it in the past 3 years, but they're not. I think he's just playing soft this year to really just stay healthy because he's not showing a thing this year. Peter Woods, he's basically been non-existent. This defense is terrible. It's disgusting watching how much talent they have on that team and not show up on Saturdays. You have 3 games where you have done nothing defensively to show any kind of production or improvement since week 1. Offensively, yeah, I think they have more weapons on offense than they do defense at this point. And that's not saying because there's somebody playing offense that should not be playing for Clemson at all. I'm not going to talk about it, but Bryce said it 3 or 4 times during the game. Why is he playing? He should not be playing in this offense.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say this. I think they're soft defensively. They're very
mentality's a problem.
Yeah, and Dr. Bob says this. Dabo can't stack the talent the way he used to. Venable's gone. That elite defense is not leading more. I thought Allen would help, man. It's just they're not bad defensively.
I didn't think they were all that bad on Saturday. I mean, if you're holding Georgia Tech to under 150 rushing yards, you're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, it's just this offense for Clemson's terrible. It's so bad. They have no offensive identity. You've gone through a quarter of your season now, and you don't know who you are. And you have a quarterback who is seriously a deer in the headlights, does not know what he's looking for or looking at. So it's, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, it's just it's interesting to me to see that at least, at the very least. So we'll see what kind of happens going forward. Clemson, Bodley says hire Lane Kiffin. They can't afford him.
Brent Venables is Clemson's first call.
Oh, Jesus.
I
wouldn't leave.
I got a lot of confidence that he's the first call.
Can they outbid Oklahoma in that money?
Maybe. I don't know.
Are you willing to push that much money?
Hey, I mean,
back,
they got a number of guys that have head coaching experience that used to coordinate at Clemson. Kevin Steele,
he's retired.
Mr. 9-28.
Let him be retired, please.
Tony Elliott, Billy Napier,
Brent Pry. He's
Chad
looking
Morris?
for a job.
Chad Morris.
Brent Pry's looking for a
Deshaun
job.
Foster's looking for a job.
He didn't know anything about his own program, so I don't think it matters. Y'all seen that? Y'all saw the video I sent. I hope.
Yeah, we saw it like 2 years ago. It was ridiculous.
Never should have been hired.
Never should have been hired. Clemson, bad. Georgia Tech, good. That's what we got from there. All natural BS. That's what's really good. It's bug spray that really, really works. Make sure you check it out. Providing effective chemical-free solutions for your home, garden, your tailgates, whatever you got going on. It was a little humid down in South Louisiana this weekend. Little warm, little toasty. We had to use the bug spray, so it is it's good stuff. Make sure you use it. We appreciate you. Check us out. Use code TCB10 for what you got going on over there at All Natural Bug Spray. That really, really works. Okay.
Don't let him lie to you. I didn't see a bottle. He didn't let me use it.
The bottle is in, and no, we really did use it. You didn't see it. Well, Hillary used it with Addie when she took her outside. You can use it on children. That sounds weird. That's going to get clipped and be bad. Yeah. So, anyways, let's go to Knoxville.
I hope someone's in this chat for this one.
Well, he already commented he's down bad. He sounds like Will every day at Auburn. So Georgia prevails in overtime. I'm just going to say this. Went back and rewatched the game last night. Watched it again today. Look, Gunnar Stockton has got a mentality that is going to pull Georgia into some dog fights, and he's going to win some. Georgia's going to win some football games because number 14. Just the way he carries himself, the throw he made to London Humphreys. I don't know. I think it's incredible that he said, "Yeah, I can make that throw." Like that's ridiculous throw. He's got a lot of zip on the football. You know, I love obviously the screen pass, but I love the way they utilized Zachariah Branch. He had the screen pass. He had the big fourth down conversion early in the game with his speed, his separation he creates. Colby Young got involved in this one. But defensively, man, I think, this is kind of what you see when you see with Tennessee and Georgia over the recent years. And I think Sam says it right here, hype coach not to lose. I mean, I think you go back to the last 6-7 minutes of the football game. Well, actually, let's go. It was, I guess, 8.5 minutes left. Gunnar Stockton fumbles the football, and Tennessee's got a chance.
That should have been the game right there.
Yeah, like I think anybody watching that moment's like, okay, like this is it. This is what you're supposed to do. And at some point, you got to go for the jugular, man. Like you have to. And to me, when I look at this, Georgia made adjustments and calmed things down. They did a good job of that. But I felt like Tennessee could have done some things to try to keep pressure on Georgia. And for some reason, unexplainably, they just kind of they took their foot off the gas pedal a little bit. And like you, Ralph, I think you mentioned this, when you're playing teams and you got them on the ropes, you can't do that, especially with a team like Georgia who wants to drag you down. We've said this multiple times, wants to drag you down and play physical. You allowed things to slow down. You allowed those DBs to catch their breath. And then, there was multiple times I felt like Tennessee could have run them out of Neyland. They just never did. And then just the way that game ended, I mean, I'll be real with you. Like, when that kid missed that field goal, it was like, yeah, Georgia's winning this game. Like, when he missed the field goal there at the end to go win the football game, it's like, yeah, I mean, and then you come out and you got some weird play calling there to start overtime for Tennessee. And then Georgia kind of obviously found a little bit of the run game. They ran the ball enough, and that was kind of a concern. What could they go do that? And they did. So once again, a scenario where I want to give credit where credit's due. So let's talk Georgia first. Gunnar Stockton he's a gamer, and I'm going to use that term a lot this year. He's a baller. He finds ways to win. He wills you to win. And Will, I'll go back to you on this, man. That's an infectious attitude. I think it's why a lot of people coming out of the offseason said that Carson Beck, you can go. Like, that's fine. Like, it's probably a better move for both parties. And so far, it looks like that might be the way. I think they found Gunnar Stockton announced himself on the national stage this weekend.
Yeah, Gunnar Stockton was very impressive. There's no way to deny that. But this one is solely on coaching. This game is completely, no question about it, on coaching. Josh Heupel lost this game. It not just because he's the head coach, but this responsibility falls on him. I mean, you get out. I mean, come flying out of the gates, hit Georgia, punch him in the mouth. Georgia didn't have an answer after the opening drive, their opening drive. You get out of that script. Georgia had trouble. Mike Bobo had trouble figuring out what was going to work against a banged up Tennessee defense, which, 4 starters out for Tennessee, you think advantaged Georgia, but the way Tennessee came out and played, it was perfect for Tennessee. But I mean, it's on Josh Heupel. We said it. He played not to lose. It could have won this game in the fourth quarter, but just felt like he chose not to. And just undisciplined. Tennessee, 10 penalties. 10 penalties. You're not going to beat anybody, much less Georgia, if you commit 10 penalties. And they were all killers. 10 penalties for 82 yards. They couldn't get off the field on third down. Georgia was 8 of 17, 2 for 2 on fourth downs. Tennessee gave Georgia this game. Kirby Smart said it right after the game. Tennessee deserved to win this game. Georgia didn't. Georgia was steady. I don't want to say that they didn't play all that well, because they did do a lot of good things. And when you're down 21-7 to come back and win on the road, you got to do a lot of good things. But like you just said, Tennessee had chance after chance after chance, put them away and didn't do it.
Ralph, thoughts on this game? What'd you take away?
I mean, Will kind of hit on the head there. Will got to watch this game live more than we did. But we watched it, like you said, Bryce, we watched it last night. Watched some of the big plays from the game and some of the more important plays. And one of the big plays in that game that kind of, piqued my interest and, piqued a little bit was that Zachariah Branch bubble screen. And I told Bryce it's one of the most, electrifying players in college football, and it showed why. They just use him perfectly. A little short bubble screen, and he just hits the hole and he's gone. No one's catching him in that play. But really, I mean, at the beginning of the year, I joked and said that, Stockton was not going to be their guy, that they had a guy behind him. Well, he threw an interception in the game. Found that out. But look, Stockton, I mean, he's been, people have kind of been passing on this guy is that he's just he's not good, because the offense really hasn't been there the first 2 weeks. But, if you look back, last week they played and just torrential downpour. It was more of a get in, get out kind of game. They weren't trying to show anything. And, week one, same way. They looked great offensively and kind of let off on the gas, and they weren't showing much. It's just simple run play, simple offense. They weren't kind of, giving one some extra film. They came out in this game, got hit in the mouth early.
Yeah,
but Kirby Smart does. He takes advantage of a mistake or two, and really just gets this team right back in the game. Gives them something to talk about. Hey guys, look. We're doing this right, keep doing it, because eventually they're going to mess up. And they did. They kept messing up. They kept going slower and slower. Offense was not really there for them in the second and third quarter. I mean, they were shut out from quarter 2 to quarter 3 to the very end, if not mistaken. Like, Georgia completely controlled the games through quarters 2 and 3. And that's that big turnover part right there, is that you have to win those quarters 2 and 3. That last six?
I always say the middle 8, last 4, first 4.
Yeah,
if you win Georgia, that, you got a good shot.
Georgia won those.
I'll say this, another note about Georgia. They're going to drop a game, I think. They don't have the depth. I still have questions about the offensive line. I thought Tennessee's pass rush was really good. I mean, Rodney Garner, it doesn't matter who you put on the defensive line. He's going to find a way to we just talked development about Clemson, the lack of development. Everywhere Rodney Garner's been, he's had a great defensive line. And this Georgia team had Kirby Smart making some faces on the sideline that you don't see him make a whole lot of. There was genuine concern at times during this game on Kirby Smart's face. It was different to see, a little bit strange to see, to where he felt like they weren't in total control of the game.
Georgia ran the ball 55 times in this game. They only averaged 3.6 yards a carry, but they ran the ball 55 times. I don't care how quickly you score. That's not sustainable as like to that defense. Will, like you talked about, they got after Gunnar Stockton early. Georgia settled in and just continued to say, we are going to run the football. We're going to take control of this. And to me, honestly, that's the biggest thing is we kind of close the book on this one, and then we'll talk, obviously, Irish and Aggies. The big difference for me with Tennessee and Georgia is you go back over it's 9 – is it 8 years? 9 years now?
Yeah, 9.
Every game it comes down to there's just maybe a little bit of a physical edge. And you kind of see that in some way. Tennessee has had some really, really good football teams over the past, I'll say 4 years, like really good teams with Heupel. And they are a nightmare to guard. I mean, I'll tell you this. I don't know if another team is going to spread a defense out like Tennessee does in the vertical passing game. That is the one thing that I think if you're a Georgia fan, you can kind of hang your hat on and say, okay, Alabama might be able to do a little bit of that, but they're not. That's not their scheme. They're not trying to do that. Like they got some weapons that could do that. Ole Miss has 37 quarterbacks in the roster, so you choose who you want to see in that aspect. But all in all, physically, Georgia just tends to flex a little bit in these games. They slow the game down. Ralph, I love what you said. I was going to say the same thing. They won the middle. They won the middle 8. They won the last 4. They won the first 4. That allowed them to slow things down, gain control. And even when they were down, and Austin says this too, regards to the score, they never felt out of it. And that's the biggest thing is, you talked about it, Will, making the faces and a genuine level of concern. I would say, and we weren't there, you can't see on the sideline, but there was probably there was a moment when it's 21-7, Tennessee's got the ball, and we're sitting. I mean, I know we're sitting on the couch watching. We're like, if Georgia had the ball, if Georgia goes 3 and out here, and Tennessee scores, anything can happen, right? I mean, last year Georgia did this against Alabama and nearly won the football game. But you're like, man, that you can't play with that fire too much. And everything just kind of started. It just came to a screeching halt offensively for Tennessee. Slowed it down. You're like, that's what let them get back in the football game. And so it's a fun one. It's a fun rivalry. The one thing I hate is that you saw a game that you may not be able to see every single year going forward. And that would really, really stink because that's a great, honestly, great atmospheres. Have past couple of years both places, but an electric football game. Early SEC statement opportunity. And I agree with you, Will. I mean, it's so hard to go undefeated. Georgia's going to drop a game. Tennessee's might drop another game or two. Just be interesting to see like who can do that, especially against a Georgia team that I think is still really good defensively. They're young in terms of their experience, not in terms of they have freshmen everywhere. They just have like a bunch of redshirt sophomores that haven't played a ton. Interesting stuff. Georgia wins this one, though, in an electric game. And Sam says, I experienced the pain I'll never experience again. Zach, late to the party, was running threes with Lon and Ron.
Hey, Sam, I've been there. I understand the pain. It's not fun. I watched my team lose last seconds before. It's never fun.
It's brutal. I can't say I've ever felt that.
Well, Mary never lost a game close.
What about like 50 seconds when you have 2 DBs run into each other and the ball gets tipped up?
That sucked. Trey Matthews and Josh Harvey Clemens.
Oh no, he's revealing his page.
And then the man known as Trigger Trey says, "Yeah, I'm just going to go down there next year."
I was going to say something,
and he was extremely mid.
Yeah, he was. Well, because he's a middle linebacker, essentially.
Second 26.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. But you know what makes up for that, Sam, is the back-to-back national titles. So you're like, I can live with that. Joey Aguilar was awful after the first quarter. Awful, probably a strong.
I'm putting that on Heupel. I'm putting that on Coach.
That play calling from legitimately the second quarter to the third quarter was just not there for them.
I mean, he was doing so well. Why go away from it?
Yeah. They were cooking Ellis Robinson the entire first quarter.
I don't know.
You can't play to lose.
Watched.
You can't play to lose. If you play to lose, you're gonna lose.
He goes, I don't know what game you watch, dude. He's still watching the Haynes King targeting call. That's all I can tell you.
Hey, wait! Someone's close by. Can we see how you actually tackle and
Jesus Christ,
don't commit targeting?
Dear God, no. Jesus. Oh God. All right, real quick, A&M wins in final seconds, and we'll get to the kind of things. I'll just go really quick, and we'll get this over in about 2 minutes. Marcel Reed's a dude. In a week where a lot of college football quarterbacks that we thought were really good or came into the season highly touted, looked okay, Marcel Reed stepped up on the road in a tough environment against a physical football team. Notre Dame's the best 0-2 team in the country. But he showed why he's a leader. He showed why, that staff went to him last year at halftime of that LSU game where they turned it around. And look, I mean, I didn't know what would happen. Ralph Pitt was the only one who picked A&M to win this game.
Look, I was prepared, Bryce. I was getting
I know.
ready.
I know.
I was going to say it. I get this. I have one
This is
win
called
this week.
compensation, folks. Just want to let you know out there.
Yeah, I didn't win my best bet, so I could have one thing here. I went 5 for 5. I feel good about myself for once.
There you go.
I would have been 5 for 5 had it not been for last second.
Debauchery.
That's a good way to put it.
Good way to put it. No, the Aggies win in the final seconds. Crazy ending. Look,
I went to sleep. I didn't even see the end. I still don't know how this game ended.
Me and Gavin were watching this game, walking down the steep of the top of the Tiger Stadium, because that's where Bryce put us in the rafters, basically. We were getting pushed out by the security because we were waiting.
just let everybody know you're poor, okay?
No, we were watching it, walking down this down the hill, basically, and I was just telling Gavin, I was like, this game's getting too close, for them not to have a chance to win, and that he shows me that the replay of Tyler Buckner dropping the extra point. Like, there's no way that guy should be playing football anymore. He's been playing college sports for like 9 years.
I thought he was playing lacrosse.
Well, he was playing football, then went to Alabama to play football, and went back, then quit football to go back playing lacrosse. Now he's playing football again. If I'm correct on that, am I right? Is that the? Can Gavin get us?
He is playing football. He's the holder.
Why?
He's the one. It's I don't know.
Well, the only thing I know is Notre Dame is done. I mean, they can go 10-2, and there's no reason they should make the playoff.
They're still ranked.
Well, I'm just going to say this, and I'm reading as we go. If you have an AP ballot, that could be a whole episode. That is the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen in my life.
Have they released who voted for who yet? Because I'm ready to see this.
Oh yeah.
Can you please?
How about Illinois sticking at number 9? Haven't beaten nobody, but A&M is 10 and Oklahoma's 11.
How about Penn State being number 1 for a lot of people? And who have they played?
They couldn't cover against Villanova.
That was a wild.
That's a bad beat.
We talk about what's really wrong this week, and Bryce is kind of stunned by it too. Why is game day going to Miami? Illinois, Indiana is not getting any love for this game.
It shouldn't get any love. It shouldn't. That is a snooze fest. That is a 12-6 snooze fest on Fox that nobody's going to watch because nobody cares about Big Noon Kickoff.
Is that Big Noon Kickoff or is that
No,
the
it's a
CBS
7:30
game?
It's a 7:30 game.
Then nobody's definitely going to watch that game.
I can say this now that I'm not under contract. CBS fumbled the freaking ball by signing that deal with the Big Ten because here's why. Nobody cared to watch USC Purdue. More people would have watched Vandy, South Carolina. No one cares that they played. Purdue barely has a football program.
I got a notification saying there was a big man touchdown. That's the only thing I cared about.
Yeah, it was Jamal Jarrett, former Georgia defensive lineman.
Can I answer a question?
Well, I don't know if you know how to opine, so I don't know if you know what that word means. So I don't want to hurt you.
I don't know.
Okay, it's not pork you. So
I'm just gonna say I don't know. I was not there. I just don't know how to answer that question because I was not there. I was about 6.5 hours south. Away
I don't even know who he's talking about.
You can check out. There's a local media you can check out if you'd like to get that.
No,
I didn't know if that was local or if that was
no. It's national now.
National now. Oh, Will, did you say that?
Why?
Did I say what?
Did you say that USC wins a natty in 5 years?
No, I don't even know when USC plays. That's how irrelevant they are.
I was told that USC was going to make the playoffs this year.
They still could.
He's sitting in the background right now. He told me he got excited they're ranked.
You want to hear, by the way? Okay, let's get through this real quick. All right, let's go best bets recap. Throw it up there. We all know Ralph lost, so Ralph is now. What are you, Ralph?
2.5, or 2.5 and 2.
You're not half of anything. What are you, 2 and 2?
Where is it?
We're 3 and 1.
I'm getting it up. Golly. Gavin's not doing anything apparently. So
we're 3 and 1. Will sitting pretty. Best bets recap. Memphis minus 3.5 hit. That
Easy.
under Georgia Tech, Clemson, and then Oregon over 48.5 with Northwestern. Yeah.
You know what's bad? It started off at the beginning of the week at 47.5. So
it's crazy.
I will not take blame for that because I pushed it to Wednesday. I am taking no blame.
Well, Wednesday is the new live show time, so that's the de facto time. So it's whatever it is on Wednesday. So best bets. By the way, Gavin, Will, we were hanging out with our friends over on FanDuel on Friday.
Oh,
I had a nasty FCS parlay hit. By the way,
no
LSU alternate.
Nasty
LSU.
as in it was a sicko committee kind of situation.
Then, by the way, shout out Duquesne for losing this weekend. Then that alternate spread LSU minus 9.5 hit. That was awesome. Gavin.
Yeah, thank you, Will.
If you're making FPS parlays, just call this number right here.
Yeah, thank you.
Gavin looks at us straight face and all because he doesn't show a lot of emotion to begin with, and he says, "Delaware, UConn. I'm taking an alternate total of under 21.5."
And what did I say in return?
And we were like,
No, what did I say? I said, you're absolutely crazy. That's the dumbest take I've ever heard you say.
I said, Gavin, do you realize
list worthy
that the game could be 14-10 in the overhits? And by the way, UConn ruined the parlay of the weekend.
I will pull the score up. We'll talk about
what was the final score of that game?
A lot to a lot. Add up. It didn't hit. The under didn't hit. I can tell you that. It was 44-41. Delaware won. And
Gavin did not put money on it, but wanted to put the total under at 21.5.
It broke that alternate line was broken in the first quarter.
I'll go ahead and give you my best bet. We can go ahead and make the graphic.
I already know what it's going to say, so just go ahead and say Auburn.
Let me get the number right here.
Oklahoma minus whatever.
Yep. Let's see what the number is.
There's a number right there.
No.
That's the number. Actually, no, wait. Is this the number?
5.5. 5.5.
You're taking Oklahoma minus 5.5?
Yeah.
Put it in there, Dr. Bob. Do want to tell you real quick before we get to our last part, we're going to talk about fired coaches and Brian Kelly real quick.
Get it now. Give it to me now before the number goes up.
Jesus. Cajun Cousins, pepper sauce. We tried it on Friday night on some, or I guess what was that? Friday? Yeah, it was Friday night. Friday night for dinner on some shrimp po' boys and some crawfish po' boys. Amazing. Great stuff. Make sure you check them out. And stay tuned later this year. What'd you say?
We need them as a sponsor. Where we got it from?
Are you pants on head? We need them as a sponsor.
No, I'm talking about where we got the po' boys from. Right?
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were pants on head.
When's the next food sponsorship getting finalized?
Well, phones work both ways, so that's what we're waiting on. That's a charge to them. Shout out Group of Five Guys. Not Five Guys, but a Group of Five Guys. Okay, let's get to this. Brent Pry fired. Not a surprise when you get belt against Old Dominion.
Old Dominion.
And now Old Dominion, in fairness,
they were afraid
had Virginia Tech's number. Old Dominion pop country band took belt to Virginia Tech on Saturday. Freightliner. Yeah, Freightliner or pop country band, whatever you want to call it. This is bad. 30-day portal window opens for them. Now, here's the problem. UCLA also fired Deshaun Foster in what is, first off, completely unfair to Deshaun Foster that he was ever the head coach to begin with. Like that is a joke. This was never going to go well. They are terrible. And the thing is they are so not even a factor in the college football landscape right now that I don't even know where you go from here. Like Brennan Marion, come on down to Sacramento State.
They should have stayed in the car with Jim
they?
Moore.
Well,
That's crazy.
That's who's coming to Auburn in 3 years.
Jim
No.
Moore? No.
No, Jim Moore will be retired in 3 years.
I do want to talk Brent Pry real quick, though, because Virginia Tech's an intriguing job. And it can be a really good job. You can carve out an ACC contender at Virginia Tech, but you've got to hit on this next hire, man, because they're in danger of, if they don't hit on this one, then you're the glory days of Virginia Tech football are so far in the memory it doesn't matter anymore, and you're close to that right now. So it'll be interesting to see where they go from there. We'll talk more about that later in the week, but just wanted to get your thoughts on Brent Pry getting fired at Virginia Tech.
Well, first of all, I'm going to push back on you that Virginia Tech could be a good job.
It is a good job.
They were successful under one coach. One.
Will, have you seen the ACC play this year?
I have.
They can be good in the ACC.
They are probably the worst team in an 18-team conference. They got a long way to go.
Well, Boston College did lose to Stanford this weekend.
Yeah.
That conference is
I mean, I'm looking at Virginia Tech all time, and it is a whole lot of mediocre at best. Here's an 8-2 season in 1963, which they started playing football in 1902. They had good years in 1922, and then they didn't have another good season, which I'm going to call 8 wins or more, until 1963. But they turned around and did it again in 1966. Oh, 1975, they pop up with 8 wins. I mean, they've really only been good under one coach, and that was Frank Beamer. So I don't know how good
they won 3. They had a 10-4 season with Beamer's players in the first year of Justin Fuente.
Sure.
9-4 the next year, and 8-5. But then it's just god awful.
Well, Brent Pry is showing that he was not the right hire.
They did go 8-0 in the Southern Conference, 8-0-1 in 1954. So please put some respect on the Southern Conference. Yeah, no, it's not.
I've never had any hate for the Southern Conference.
Hey, 3 of those teams hit my parlay this weekend, so I'm cool with them.
I don't know how good of a job this is. I don't know who they could realistically hire.
Michael Vick. That's what the sources are saying.
I mean, that is realistic. They'll hire a guy with 1 year, your former quarterback, probably your greatest quarterback ever, with 1 year of head coaching experience.
Why not? That seems to be the going rate for college coaches nowadays anyways.
Yeah, I don't know. That was such a long list. I mean, sure, they should cast a wide net because they need it because, I mean, I will say, Frank Beamer was there for so long and built it up to being a really, really good program. Yeah. They need to go out and hire the right person. And it's not Shane, I'll tell you that.
I'm not leaving South Carolina to go to Virginia Tech from Shane Beamer. Brent Pry, not a great head coach. I don't even care to talk about Deshaun Foster. I just think it's just bad, and I feel bad for him. And he didn't even know where he was, and so that was probably that's probably the first problem. I mean, when you don't even know where you are. Who did they lose to this week? New Mexico.
New Mexico. They got blasted by New Mexico, 35-10. Let's see.
You know what I will say, Sam, by the way?
Matt Campbell. There is no way Matt Campbell is taking the UCLA job. This website has got to be the dumbest website I've ever seen. First name is Matt Campbell. The next one's Nick Saban. What? DeAnton Lynn.
PC Toddy, with all due respect.
Dave Aranda. What? Spencer Danielson or Alex Golish.
Dude, it's career suicide if you go out there.
His website's awful.
Yeah, it's bad. Ralph, any comments on Pry?
I'm not even going to tell you where I got that from. Dion would be a good hire.
For which one?
UCLA.
We're not talking about Deshaun Foster. Is just it's a dumpster fire. Nobody cares. Brent Pry, Virginia Tech.
It was long overdue. Should have been
I
fired last
care.
year.
Listen, I'm all bought into the UCLA head coaching search. Okay.
Let me just say this though. It's just you fired him after week 3. Now you got 9 games left with the interim coach. Have they named interim head coach yet? Are they going to name
30-day portal window, so I don't know now too.
You had to deal with that now. So you're having a mass exodus in this program.
Can I add some? You're also doing the fact you haven't played 4 games yet, so kids could just quit and say they're not going to play.
Yeah, so this team, we might actually see something for the first time it happened in a long time. Virginia Tech might not be able to play a game. Philip
Montgomery is the interim head coach. Oh, okay.
Ralph said he just can't take that.
He's done.
He said he's done. Said he's done. He can't do it.
Headphones are off. He's done.
Ralph needs some emotional help.
Why? Why?
Ralph, time out. Ralph, did you punch a hole in the wall over there? What is that black mark on the wall behind you?
That right here?
Yeah.
That's just the Braves World Series thing. It's just like
the angle of it looks like you took a knife to the side of the wall.
No,
he's out there with a scythe. Just
UCLA's interim head coach is Tim Skipper. Couldn't tell you who that is.
Like my old associate pastor at North Island.
Who is that?
Let's see. SI.com. Let's meet him.
We're just making people's names up these days. They hired an NCAA EA college football.
He was the head coach at Fresno State. He was the interim head coach at Fresno State in 2024.
Gavin, you get some sleep today?
No. He worked on graphics the entire time.
I've got a big winner of the week. Even though we normally don't do that on Sunday nights. Big Nick Iamaleava, big winner of the week.
Jesus Christ. Okay. No.
He can now offer his son's services to another program with no baggage.
Hey, look, Gavin's in here. He can attest. I did say the interim head coach would be his dad.
I'm surprised it's not.
He'll be out there calling plays, and it's just gonna be.
We're gonna get a DM from Nick. Sorry for that.
I don't care.
He DM'd. He replied to No 3 Sports.
Ralph's tried to fight somebody everywhere we've gone, so don't worry about it.
There were some LSU fans sitting in front of us that could have gotten this week. Gavin, I can tell Gavin was tired of lose.
It sounded like you had some cannibal action happening. Montgomery does have head coaching experience, though. Yeah, and I do on EA. So I mean, that doesn't qualify me for the job. No, he'll probably get
that. Virginia takes the whole entire roster. They get to leave.
It's
Brent
bad.
Pry's gone.
It's bad.
Thank God. You can finally say, I made the mistake to come here. I am now in the portal. Please, someone save me from this program.
Well, that's one way to put it.
Winners of the week, Tulane.
They're good. They're just a good
care of business against your former quarterback who left for the money. Way to go, John Summerall. You stood on this team. You said pack Yeoman out, and they did.
We're gonna have 2 group of 5s in the playoff this year.
I'm gonna be there in a few weeks, and I'm excited.
Because Tulane's they're not even gonna be top 12. They'll be inside the top 12.
I got a winner of the week.
I'm bringing my Tulane koozie.
I got a FaceTime call on the way to the game.
Oh my God!
Saturday from a diehard Georgia Tech fan. Bruised right knee.
Where is he? Why is he not in here?
I don't know. And hope he hears this. Made his way onto the field, part of the field storming for Georgia Tech, and berated and maintained physical contact. With Cade Klubnik on his way off the field.
Don't say his
got
name.
drug from it. Am I going to get to say this?
Nope.
Thank you.
And I am going to finish saying this. Well, go ahead.
What is the last 20 minutes of the show you've been?
Eric Mays. If you know Eric Mays.
Matt Brook got dragged 20 yards down the field into the opposite end zone after berating and physically assaulting Cade Klubnik. So shout out to him. Immediate FaceTime call after, which that's brave of you, Matt, because the circles you run in, those people aren't fond of us. So hope I didn't front you out there, my friend. But shout out to them. Shout out to Sean Taylor there as well. Big fan of Will Mannis and the things that he chooses to be on top of. So there you go with that.
Oh,
That's crazy. We appreciate you watching. Appreciate you tuning in. I guess last thing here. Brian Kelly loses it on a media member. I'm just going to say this.
I was hoping that was you. When I saw that video, I was like, please be Bryce.
I got asked if it was Bryce also, by the way.
But here's the other thing. I also know that you wouldn't ask such a poignant question like that.
Let me say
Softball
this.
only from Bryce Koon.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a mouthpiece of the organization.
You're scared of Brian Kelly.
I am.
He might have you go up on a tower.
I-
Plead the fifth. Just plead.
You
The fifth.
just put me in a really tough spot.
Plead the fifth. Just plead the fifth.
Yeah, this is unhinged. We got Will riding ponies and not the Pony Express. They almost
Pony
lost
up.
to Missouri State. Come on, SMU. Let's go.
We're
Pick it
trying
up.
We're trying to see some exciting football in November.
Brutal. College football. Week 3 was amazing. It was awesome. We'll be live Wednesday talking week 4. Honest to God, comment games you want us to talk about because we might look at an FCS slate this week.
Why?
It's a good G5 slate.
We got a top 25 matchup in Norman. Why are we looking at FCS?
I forgot about that game.
Just because you're the sicko making FCS parlays doesn't mean that there's good FBS games.
Fairleigh Dickinson played this weekend. Shout out Barry. 48-0 drubbing of Jeremy Mack's LaGrange Panthers.
Did the Oaks play this weekend?
Jonesy's not here. They're watching the Falcons get belt probably. So who knows? Well, all right. We appreciate you. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. We'll catch you on Wednesday night live. Tech fans, I'll be live tomorrow morning and talking a little rewind. You'll get the full effect of Bryce Koon nitpicking. We'll look at some things and talk about them, how it went. Appreciate you tuning in. Ralph Larry, Will Mannis, my name is Bryce Koon, and Gavin Hart in the background. Get him some sleeping pills, people. We'll see you later.
Pile in here and make yourself feel at home. The crowded booth is coming on. The crowded booth with Bryce Koon.